Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Usually I don't do videos on random vehicles in the game, and the reason for this is because I go through a decent amount of them and I would be sat here pretty much talking about them till the cows come home. But I thought I would talk about the Vautour IIN late because it's been one of the weirder experiences when I've been playing the game, and I thought why not kind of go through it. So, if you don't know, this plane came into the French tech tree in the last update. It came alongside the Mirage 2000, so pretty much nobody's going to remember this thing until they get to it in the tech tree and realize that the whole of Rank 5 of France is really tough to play through, and this kind of adds to it. And the Vautour is also kind of tough to play through, but it offers something unique that you don't really see at the level, so you can kind of catch people out with it. So the Vautour is a kind of interceptor version. So it doesn't get any bombs, meaning that its stock actual situation is really bad. You basically just have the guns. And if you just have the guns, then you have to then you realize very quickly that the Vautour is nothing apart from just being fast. Now, being fast is quite nice at the BR because it means that you can kind of control the situation on when you go in, but because the Vautour is so unmaneuverable, its elevator doesn't like working, its ailerons definitely don't like working, and everything else doesn't like working, all you have is the speed and the guns to work on, making it a very annoying aircraft to play. So what I ended up doing at the start of the game was actually going in and just hitting AIs until I got access to the air-to-air missiles. Now, the Vautour actually gets access to 2 air-to-air missiles. And by the way, going to hit AIs, this thing gets an interceptor spawn. So it actually spawns in the air, works really well, which is, pretty good. But once I got the first set of air-to-air missiles, which are the air-to-air Nords, it was incredibly fun. Basically, if anything tried to head on me, I just fired a missile, they died, and then I would try and pull off. Sometimes I'd be able to, sometimes I wouldn't, because it's a Vautour, and that would be a bit of a pain. But a lot of the matchmaking that this thing got, it was able to outrun a lot of the enemies that it fought, so it was quite easy to move around the place and be able to control the situation that you found yourself in. So that was pretty nice while moving around. The other thing about it is once you get the 511s, the vehicle doesn't really change that much in terms of playstyle. It just gives you a new toy to play with. And the Matra 511s, which are the new semi-active radar homing missile, which this machine is kind of based around, and also the machine which the munition which you need to use on this thing to be fully combat effective, is actually kind of funny, because at this BR, people don't run it into semi-actives, so they don't really see them, or they don't really think about them, and a lot of people, since you get an interceptor spawn, you actually spawn high as well. And what ends up happening is you can donk on stuff like IL-28s, you can donk on stuff like B-57s, for example, which are just not paying attention. The 511 is one of the slowest missiles I have seen in game. So you usually don't want to launch them at people who you're behind. You want to launch them to people who you're going head-on with, or they are coming towards you. Because the 511, because it's so slow, it actually has pretty good maneuverability on it, but it will never catch targets because it's just so slow going through the air. So if you have like IL-28s who just spawned in, and you can kind of hit them and they'll die, then it works incredibly well. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking to dogfight with them, or do anything like that with them, it's not going to work at all. It's going to be a pretty awful situation, actually. You're not going to be able to kind of do anything with them. But if you are a person who, at the start of the battle, will want to take out bombers, and then anybody who tries to kind of climb high, then it can actually work. The radar is good enough for this. The other thing as well for this radar is it actually has It doesn't say that it does, but there have been some really wonky kills that I've got with it. So basically, look downing, shoot downing stuff with the vehicle, which was just super confusing when it actually happened. So pretty much getting above the enemy and then locking onto them with the radar and then firing the 511 down and hitting them. I was able to do that multiple times, but there's no way this radar is supposed to do that, but it was just working for some reason, and it was working really, really well. So there was also that, which was super odd. So the Vautour IIN, have I had a good time in it? Probably not. It was a pain stock grinding. It was one of those vehicles which it didn't feel fun to play until you get the 511s, and even if you get the 511s, there's a lot of scenarios where you just get donked. But when I look at my stats, so I have 86 air kills, 18 deaths, and 35 battles. But the key thing, which I think is kind of the damning stake for the Vautour IIN, is my win rate is 37%. So if I have a look at all of my other vehicles when it comes to France, all of them have positive win rates, apart from the Yak 9T for some reason, the Vautour IIN Late, and also the Super Mystère B2. And when it comes to the Super Mystère B2, and also, the Mystère Forêt is also 48%, and also the Vautour IIN, one of the things that puts these in a different box to stuff such as the Mirage 5F, the Mirage 3E, the Mirage 2C, even stuff like the King Cobra that I've used a lot in ground, is I cannot control the game with them. They are not vehicles which are easy to use by a two-carrier game. They're easy to get 1 or 2 kills with, even if they're AI, but they cannot have the impact that something like a Mirage 3E or a Mirage 3C has. In those vehicles, I have nearly 60% win rate. In the Mirage 5F, I have a 65% win rate. In the Bearcat, I have a 60% win rate. And even in stuff like the P39Q, I have a 72% win rate in that thing. So when we have a look at something like the Vautour IIN, even though my stats, when it comes to KD and stuff, look really nice, from experience and also from win rates, it shows that I'm not controlling the game at all. I'm just wandering around, shooting a few missiles, and that's it. I'm having no real impact on what's going on. So the vehicle overall, even though it offers a pretty interesting mechanic at a low BR in the form of the semi-actives, it's not useful enough for the vehicle to be seen as meta, and also the downsides of this thing, the fact that it's so immaneuverable and also relies heavily on stuff like head-ons, even though it's a huge machine, makes it kind of a pain to play. But as I said, it adds to everything else in Rank 5 in France, which is pretty rough at the moment. The Vautours are in a little bit better place because they get an air spawn and all their predators don't. The F-84G is not bad at the moment. It's also very good in ground. The F-84F is trash. The MD-450s are pretty bad, and the MG-452s are even worse. So with the addition of the Vautour, it's definitely in good company with some pretty rough additions. Hopefully people are enjoying the Mirage 2000 though, which does seem like a pretty fun aircraft. As always though, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pieman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.